What's good now? How you doing?
I do, my brother. What's happening now?
I'm fine. I mean, it's album season, so
Yeah,
we're
so
back
we're
in
back. We're
business.
back. New album. Shout out Tems.
Right.
Shout Ira Star. Shout out all the girlies, all the Afrobeat women. They're killing it, man. We're proud of them.
All right. So Tems has had an amazing career. She's
Yeah,
been killing it for a very long time,
yeah,
right? Why do you think it took her long to get an album out?
yeah. I mean, first of all, shout out Tems. Shout out Tems on her new album. I mean, it's not been easy, right? I mean, we can never really get to understand how the process works, what she's had to go through, the level of hard work she's had to put into get out this album. And I think one of the reasons why it seemed like it took so long
Yeah.
was because she had a breakthrough in 2020, 2021 with Essence, which I mean she dazzled on Essence and she got international success, and like she just kept going up, and she was at a point where she needed, or it felt like she needed to tie that success to an album, and then it began to look like the album was not forthcoming. Like it's not forthcoming. It was like she was going to do everything but drop an album. So she was going to perform at the biggest stages, win a Grammy, collaborate with the biggest stars in the world. She was even going to do a bit of back and forth with ETL Jacob on the TL, but drop an album. So it felt like it was getting too long. It felt like she was starring, and again, as I said, we can never really get to understand what it felt like for her. Because, for example, Thames is an industry anomaly. Like for all intents and purposes, Thames didn't blow up from here, she blew up from there. And she was kind of like a blueprint on her own. Like this is someone with two, okay. I think when she blew up, she had one EP. I think it was shortly after she blew up, she dropped the second EP. She had one EP. She blew up. People were just playing her songs. Her songs were going viral. She was going international, and this was an uncharted territory. We've never seen like a situation where Nigerian artists blew up internationally the way she did. I mean, shortly after Essence, then we had Love Wanting to blow up. So Thames was Thames was she was exploring uncharted waters, and she had to figure it out on her own. She had to like figure out what works for her. She was more of an international global star than a Nigerian
Global
star. Yeah.
story.
She was at the point where I mean, what type of music do I do? Who do I cater to? Which person's taste do I cater to? Do I cater to the taste of this global audience who are the ones that are, like they propelled me to stardom, or do I still lean towards that Nigerian heritage that's kind of like it's part of the vehicle that drove me to this point that I am now, and it's kind of what is giving me a unique position in the scheme of things, because being a Nigerian and being in the midst of the Afrobeats of the world, although I don't make Afrobeat music, I'm still able to, to fit into that narrative of the
Yes.
global exploitation of Nigerian music. So it was not really easy for her, because, I mean, it was like she was like at a very unique. She was in a unique position, and she had to figure it out. And I think that's one of the reasons it took so long, because she was just like, I think she was just taking in the moment. She was absorbing the moment. She was making music with Beyonce, with Drake. She was making music with Future. Rihanna
Rihanna.
was gushing over her. Adele was gushing over her. Everybody wanted to make music with them. So as if she would possibly not even have the time to make her own music, because she was just everywhere, performing here, writing a Oscar nominated song, doing the soundtrack for Black Panther. She was just like, she doesn't have an album and she was already a mega superstar. You understand? So it was really a critical point. And I think she wasn't, I don't know, like definitive, but maybe she didn't have the music ready then. And she was not going to be rushed. And I think that's good. She wanted to take her time, make the music that she think fits into her journey and where she's headed to. And for her to be able to make that kind of music, she had to let the journey play out to a certain extent. No way it's heading to, no way it's leading to, stabilize a bit. And I think she's been able to do that. And I mean, she's done things that people would like people would give up anything to have in their career. Their careers. Like artists would give up a lot to have the type of success Tems has recorded over the past 3 years. I
True.
mean, she's been interviewed with Kendrick Lamar. She's writing the song for Rihanna. She's getting nominated for the Oscars. She goes to the Oscars. She's the one who goes viral. And this
Yeah,
is
I
this is
remember
I mean,
that.
it's special. It's special, right? And shout out to her, man. Shout out to her, right? I understand that there's a bit of like, even from my own perspective, like from my own position, like they look at me and be like, oh, Adeayo, like I don't think she knows me or anything, or maybe like I don't like, yeah,
She
but I'll
probably
keep,
does. Hey.
yeah, and they'll be like, I don't think this guy is actually like, this guy fucks with me like that. You understand? Because maybe I don't talk about music and stuff like that. You understand? Like the way I talk about maybe the average Nigerian artist and everything like that. But at the same time, I think like looking at it from my own perspective, I kind of like see. see that maybe that's how the average Nigerian looks at it. And while I might not necessarily talk about her music that much, I really have huge respect for what she's accomplished and what she's been able to do, and how she's been able to do it. I have huge respect for it, and that's why, like the fact that the album is finally out, and it's took long.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I would agree that it did, like, it could have maybe, there's a possibility that maybe she could have dropped it earlier than now, but I
Yeah.
think she took her time, and I think the timing is like kind of perfect for her from
Mm.
our perspective. And when you look at it from our perspective, you respect it and you understand, okay, yeah, it did take long, but I think it's still like the right time for the album to come out.
All right. So talking about the rollout, most good albums have amazing
Yeah.
rollouts. Do you think the rollout prepared the listeners for the album?
Absolutely. I think it not only prepared listeners for the album, it's kind of over prepared listeners for the album. There was time where she was doing things and you feel like the album is close.
Oh.
Yeah, when she goes to perform here, she's like uncharacteristically online. She's more like active online than
Yes.
she would usually be.
Yes.
And she does, next thing you see, this magazine features out, and Essence magazine features out, Kendrick Lamar is interviewing her, you'll be like, okay, I think this album mode, then you just like get a bit of like quiet after that. Like it was kind of like a bit confusing for some people. So it was like but it was a gradual process. She was just like taking a step, one step at a time, preparing for the album. And when she did drop music, like I think she started with Me and You, right? Was it Me
Yeah.
and You, then Not an Angel?
Not an angel here.
I think Me and You before Not an Angel.
Yes.
Yeah. When she released Me
Me
and
and
You,
You.
okay, just like signals that okay,
Lead
it's
single.
time. Like okay, we'll go into album mode, full album mode now. And she's just been like taking it steadily from there. Steadily from there. Every performance, every media round, everything is just tying together for the album release. And she's been able to do all this without losing her essence, her cool. She's this like flamboyant, sophisticated African superstar, African global superstar, like someone that is conquering both continents at the same time, right? And she's been able to hold sway across both markets.
Mm.
And this is more special that she's able to do this without the music. Without necessarily having new music, so to say. Let's not say without the music, because she had Essence, she had Free Mind going crazy, she had Aya going crazy.
Hi, was crazy.
Without releasing new music, she was just like holding it down. So it's all part of, like, she was able to do this rollout where she went on media tour, she had some couple of interviews, and she just shared her story. Like, she controlled the narrative. Like, everything that came out was from our perspective. The stories that have been told was from our perspective. What she wanted to share was what she was willing, and how far she was willing to share. So she was able to control narrative and prepare people that this album is going to be on my own terms. Like, what I'm going to put out, the body of work I'm going to share is going to be from my own perspective. It's going to be what I want to do. It's going to be what I want from my career. And you people are either going to like join me on this journey, understand it, or if you're not like willing to be part of this, it's time for you to clock out now. So I think that's it. So I think the rollout was sensational. The performances, like from going to Jimmy Fallon, and like there was a bit of like criticism following that performance that wasn't great. And I mean, you get to like understand where people are coming from when you watch it and everything. And like especially because I mean, they don't necessarily like maybe get the music and our own style. Then she goes on NPR, and I think that was a fantastic performance. Like,
yes.
really, really good performance.
I agree.
On Tiny Decks, and she killed it. And then she did like yesterday she did the listening party for fans, and so everything just like rose together and just like builds up to the album release perfectly. So yeah, I would say the album rollout has been fantastic.
All right. So now let's go straight into the music. It has 18 tracks. That's a lot. That's a long listening experience. What do you think about the music on the album? Any favorites?
Yeah, I mean, favorites. I mean, the early contenders. I like Burning. I like Burning. I like Turn Me Up. Turn Me Up.
Turn It Up?
Yeah, Turn Me Up. I like Gangsta. I like the songs. Those ones with the dancehall leaning. I like them. I like Unfortunate. I think she was brilliant on Unfortunate. So I heard the music on the album, right? I think this is a very, very deliberate album. This is an album where she did take her time to make the album. I mean, 2-3 years to put together a body of work is sufficient time for you to find a clear direction, while also still conquering the world and becoming a superstar. So the album conveys this, this direction, this clear sonic direction, this clear sonic part, this clear vision that this is what I want to achieve, this is what I want to accomplish. And she's able to do this because she works perfectly with our producers, our main producer, UT Beats, to craft a sound that drives the album. And she's also a producer as well. I think
Yeah,
she's
she
also a good
produced
at.
a lot of
Yeah,
songs on it.
she produced a couple of songs alongside QT Beats on this album. So she's a brilliant producer. So she's able to like craft a sound that like that captures her essence and captures what she's trying to communicate. And I think for me, the way I see it, I think she leans more towards R&B. At the core of the album, it's R&B. It's that music that defines like that captures our soul, that captures our essence. So, and while the core of the album is R&B, she also delves out and explore the genre on the
Genres,
genres.
yeah.
She did a bit of dancehall across songs like Gangster, Get It Right, Turn Me Up. She explored that Jamaican dancehall bounce there. And in terms of the production, you get like, okay, the sonic queries, like at the core is dancehall. Sorry, at the core is R&B, that mid-tempo, steady flow. Then there's also like a bit of like diversity there. She did dancehall, there was points where she leaned towards Afrobeats as well. So, and when it comes to the production, I think there was an effort to get the right producers on the right track. Even while she and Duty Beat were the primary curators of the album, when it comes to like exploring Afrobeat with Ashake
Get it
on
right.
Get It Right, she tapped SARS, someone who is like a professor of the
And it
sound.
showed.
Yeah, of the sound to get it right. When she wanted to explore that bouncy dancehall hybrid, it was London and Sparks that put it together. When she wanted to explore the UK scene, kind of like that swing kind of vibes, to P2G. So she did get the right producer. She worked with the right people to get the sound she wanted. So I think sonically the album sticks together. Right, there's direction, there's a clear direction. It's not scattered. It's not scattered. It's not all over the place. It's R&B at the core, and even when she explores R&B, it's from a very personal perspective, right? When she makes music like Ready, songs like Ready, and Unfortunate, and a couple of other songs like that, it shows like there's a bit of Shadia to influence to her sound in terms of like embracing soulful jazz music
Like
and like yeah,
hypnotic.
yeah, hypnotic kind of sound, and it's very
Yeah.
sober, it's very sobering. Her music, like, it's very reflective. Her writing is very soulful, so it's really what captures her essence. It's really who she is, right? And this type of music that she can like prepare listeners for, if you like to prepare listeners for, and for them to be able to identify that this is what she stands for. Yeah, so you understand that at the core it's R&B, and when she explores the R&B, it's sobering, it's melody, it's sobering, it carries this reflective, this soulful, this hypnotic, as you said, hypnotic effect. And I mean, if you listen to the songs Ready, Forever, Unfortunate, you can tell like, okay, this is someone that listens to a bit of Shadi Adu, and it shows, it shows in the music. And I think it's really brilliant. I think it's really brilliant how she's able to like infuse the sounds together and convey who she is. And this kind of music she's been known for, and she's kind of like preparing listeners for like this consistency with it. This consistency with it. Like, if you listen to our first EP for Broken Ears, if you listen to If Orange Was a Place, like this soulful, mid-tempo R&B kind of music that also infuses a bit of dancehall rhythm. That like that dancehall rhythm, the swing rhythm that's kind of like very predominant in the UK. That's the type of music she makes, and it shows the influences, like multiple influences
Yeah, she
growing
had.
up. Like, she grew up in the UK, she listened to R&B music, she's Nigerian, so these different realities come together to shape her talent, and this shows on the album. And in terms of like in quintessential R&B style, she writes very soulfully. Her writing are heartfelt. Like, she talks about when she talks about love, talks about heartbreak, in songs like Unfortunate, like when she gets past now in Burning, and talk about how, she was very reflective on this album. Talk about how she came onto the scene, and people were surprised to see that was this person. They don't know who she is, and she just have to figure it out on her own. And the interludes where they talk about her journey and what she wants to do and how she wants to do it, and how people are doubting her and stuff like that. There's a lot of reflection on the
Her
album.
mom
And
was.
even when she talks about love and heartbreak, it's also from a reflective point of view, about experiences with romantic relationships and stuff like that. So It's very reflective. Yeah. So again, what the at the core of the album is R&B. She tried to to show versatility. I mean, she's versatile, and she showed it. She delivered dancehall rhythm in Wickedest, Turn Me On, Gangsta. She was like delivering that UK kind of dancehall influences. She was showing it, and she did like Arab Afrobeat on Get It Right, and kind of like when you look at the production, some like it leans the part that leans towards like embrace Afrobeat, the parts that solely embrace R&B, and she tried like put it together for music that would appeal, that can appeal to those who have come to love our sound. That will appeal to those who have come to love our sound, and there are also tracks that will appeal to the sensibilities of the average Nigerian listener. Like for the global listener, for people who listen to our music and that form the bulk of those who blew her up internationally, I think this is what they would have come to expect. Music that sounds like Free Mind, music that sounds like I am,
Higher, yeah.
soulful, rhythmic, like heartfelt writing, sobering delivery, like very, very warm kind of music,
Sad
that
girl music.
yeah, that's just like really like very, really warm, that's warm and like chilled and everything. So yeah, and I think that's what she delivers on this music, on this album. So I think the album is good, and 18 tracks is a lot. It's actually a lot, and I think for those who have come to enjoy Tems' music, for those who have come to grow with her and become familiar with the music and who already know what to expect, this is kind of like perfect for them. They have enough of her to keep them going for a while. This is someone they've been asking drop music, drop music. Now she's giving them like enough music, and this music comes from a reflective point over the years. She talks about different points in her life, and so this kind of like encapsulates like the different experiences and what she's been through, and like letting listeners in and embracing them and say, okay, come experience these things with me, and this is what I feel, this is how I feel about these things, and this is who I am now. Right. So for those people, this is just like, it's really amazing. They're like in paradise. But for the average listener who cannot necessarily connect with that music, right? 18 tracks might be
A lot.
it's a lot, two terms for them, and just two collaboration. So that's not a lot of collaboration. That's not a lot of diversity. That's not a lot of different voices. Coming to spice
Yeah,
things up, right?
yeah.
So there's that part. So it might be a drawback, and it might be a good thing depending on how
Who
you
you're
want to look at
asking?
it. Okay, so yeah, so again, it depends on how you want to look at it. From the perspective of someone who's a thorough Thames fan, like an hardcore Thames fan, it's just perfect. It's perfect, like enough of her to keep them going. For someone who was hoping to have a more, relatable album, an album that doesn't demand much from the average listener, then this might not be like, it might be too long for them, even though there's tracks to like keep them going and everything. So, but I think the album doesn't flatline at any point. I
Yes.
think they tried to like pair a slow song with a high tempo bouncy track. So you get one R&B track here, you get a dancehall up tempo here, you get one R&B, you get like an Afrobeat joint here, you get like so that's how she tried to do it. And I think the arrangement kind of makes the 58 minutes listening time a bit, yeah, makes it look a bit less like 58 minutes. So yeah, that might be a drawback for some people, and I would understand. But overall, I think the music works. So in terms of what she tries to do, in terms of what she tries to communicate, I think she did it perfectly. In terms of the type of music she wants to make, I think she's been able to make that type of music. In terms of type of music that kind of captures her identity and gives her like that, shows her direction and be like, this is where I'm headed to, this is what I want to do, and this is who I am. I think she's also been able to make that type of music. So there's no identity crisis, there's no confusion, there's no asking question, okay, what is it? What is it now? Like, what's it going to be? Are you here or are you there? Are you in Nigeria or are you in Yankee? You understand? Are you facing the Afrobeat direction or are you facing the international
R&B,
direction? You see, I don't think there's any confusion in that aspect. This is clearly an R&B album at its core that just like shows that she could do different things and also embraces different talents, from dancehall to Nigerian music, and also that our influences growing up. Like she's sampling Love Me Jeje from She Showed Him One, Bello Shafi, Shafi Bello.
Bella.
it just shows that okay, this is what I listen to growing up. This type of music that speaks to me, and I want to make this type of music. And it's still from a very soulful perspective. How she makes the music. It's a love song, but she does it in a very like a very cheerful, soulful way, and that's just how music you come to expect from her. So I think overall, yeah, I think everything comes together to make for an objectively good album.
Yes.
The production. I think the production is really good. And I like the fact that she was able to work with different producers and not just with one producer. And even though she worked with different producers, she was still able to get to create a sonic direction for the album, which was very important. You could tell, okay, there's no, if they ask you Born in the Wild, what genre is it? Okay, this is an R&B album, right?
Yes.
It's an R&B album that still steps out and explore that genres, right? So I think that's perfect.
So it does not give too many
Yeah,
chefs in the pot.
yeah. It's not confusing. Like it's not thematically confusing either, right?
Right.
So you just know that okay, this is Born in the Wild, this is our journey. Like I think she was in an interview with Apple Music after Love Me Jaja dropped, and she was talking about the album, and she said like it's about her experiences like from the one she picked up in Lagos, from like how her life has evolved over time to becoming who she is now, right?
now,
In terms of every area. So I think that's just what you get on the album, right? So, Born in the Wild. I'm not sure what the Wild is. I don't know if Lagos is the Wild.
Yeah, I wanted to ask her if Lagos the wild.
Yeah, but I understand that maybe it's just like it's a figurative expression
Yeah.
for just like what the word feels like for her and how she has like figured it out on her own and everything. So I think it's a good album. I think it's a good album. I think it's an album that will do great things for her, and yeah, and overall, I think those who really
Like Tems.
connect with Tems music would enjoy this album.
All right, so you say now you've established that the people that really get into Thames' music would appreciate this album. So what happens to like the genre? Do you think it would resonate with Nigerian listeners generally?
I'm not sure. I can see again. As I said, like if you already connect with Tems' music, you're going to enjoy the album. If you do not necessarily connect to her music, then there are parts of it that you wouldn't enjoy.
Yeah.
Right, and that's fine. That doesn't make it any less of a good album. Like as I said, objectively speaking, and I still believe that there's a bit of objectiveness that we can put to music. I believe that taste is subjective. That I like something, that you like something, is subjective. It's subjective to what I like and what you like. Doesn't that I like an album and you don't like the album doesn't make the album necessarily great. It just means that like okay, maybe I like
Your
the album.
preference.
But the fact that you don't like an album and the album is great doesn't make the album any less great, right? So, and one of the ways I try to like draw objectivity, where I cannot just like leave it open ended, is maybe like a text of proximity. Like okay, in terms of the genres this song choose to explore, in terms of the genre she choose to explore on this song, how did she cope?
How
How did she
successful
yeah,
did
how,
she do?
yeah, like what did she do? How successful was it? How did she excel on it? Right. So if you're making an R&B song and you want to explore R&B, okay, what is the result? How good is it, right? If you want to do dancehall and this song is supposed to be dancehall, and what elements come together to make it a good dancehall song? So I think when we put it to like a text of proximity in terms of picking the songs and looking at how they excel in these different genres and how they come together to form a project, I think it's a good album. But it doesn't. Do I think it will resonate with the average Nigerian listener? Not necessarily. Now, the whole music is that music thrives on relatability and familiarity. Like for the average Nigerian listener, what they like or what they get to enjoy most is what they are familiar with. Like in terms of what you're saying, how you're saying it. Like if you're making music, you're speaking pidgin, you're speaking like Yoruba or Igbo or any of the Nigerian local dialect, and you say things that are relatable in terms of like I don't ama, I like this girl, can't go chop my money, or my enemy die, stuff like that. Stuff that strives on relatability, or you make a love song and you roll out the superlatives, it's relatable and the music thrives on that. Then there's also the sheer appeal of a song. Like you don't hear what they're saying, you don't understand what they're saying, but it's very, very sonically pleasing.
Yeah.
Like it just quote unquote sweet. Understand? Like it's really pleasing to the ears. So that's another way like music connects. So for Tems' music, I don't think Tems' music necessarily resonates with the average Nigerian. The way she makes her music. You saw who really writes in pidgin. And God bless me, I don't think I've heard her speak any Nigerian local dialect, not even Yoruba, that's her own language, which I don't even know if she can
In an
speak.
interview, she says she doesn't speak Yoruba. She understands it.
Yeah, so she can't speak Yoruba. She really speaks pidgin. But there are times where she tries to speak pidgin on this album. Yeah, like, and she tries to like infuse that Nigerian, that Afrobeat vibe and kind of like lamba a bit. On Love Me Jeje, you say
Well,
you
Tommy
love to me
on
on like
like
Nepa. Like,
Nepa.
so, yeah, she's like, no, she should try.
It's cute.
Yeah, so yeah, so it's not like this is not someone that will make music that the average Nigerian listener can resonate with.
Sure.
So and the way she makes the song is a lot of English, and there's a lot of like there's a lot of soul in it, there's a lot of reflection in it. You know, it's not the average song where you can just like vibe to like I don't hammer, let's go to the club and stuff like that. It's soulful, right? It's soulful. So there's really a different kind of like you as an average listener, you require a different kind of skill set to enjoy music.
Music.
And this is not even like being trying to be elitist or anything. Like it is just what it is.
Sure.
It's just what it is. Like you can, and I don't think when people say they don't enjoy it, I don't think there are people who are just being genuine. It's not from maybe being trying to be trolling or being a hater. There are people you just okay, this one is just like an average music consumer. He's not someone like doesn't have an history of trolling or doesn't even have a history of engaging in stand Twitter debates or stuff like
Yeah.
that. Saying things like, okay, I don't think I connect with Tems' music. You understand? Okay, it's just like it doesn't resonate with you, and it's fine.
fine.
It's fine. It's fine. And yeah, and it's fine. And it's the fact that it doesn't resonate with people doesn't mean they won't talk about it. That's just one thing we also have to understand. You know, the fact that people that it doesn't resonate with people doesn't mean they won't talk about it. And the thing is that some people cannot like when a song doesn't resonate with them, they cannot decipher and like they cannot like take it in and say, okay, this song doesn't work for me, but it is still a good song. I think people kind of see stuff like if it doesn't work for me, it's not good.
Yeah.
If it works for me, it's good. But that's why I try like say, okay, there should be an objective test to it. Like subjectively speaking, it won't resonate with a couple of like
People,
a couple of Nigerians. Like, but objectively speaking, it is
is
a
a
good
lot.
album. It is a
There are
good album, right?
metrics to judge this.
Yeah, yeah. Like if you like the genres which you want to explore, the way she writes, the way the production comes together, the way it thrives. Yeah, so it's that, and she the thing with her is that she embraces herself. And when she makes Afrobeat music, when she makes African kind of like she leans towards that and Nigerian identity, it is not to pander. It's not to like make a music that Nigerians will overtly enjoy or music that she thinks, okay, I want to make this music because I want this music to be commercially successful in Nigeria. No, she makes the music more of like, okay, I just want to lean into my Nigerian heritage and embrace that part of me. And that's why she makes something like Love Me Jeje in Nigeria, like that samples a Nigerian old-timer. You know? Then she would like tap a notoriously famous Nigerian superstar in Ashake for Get It
Get
Right,
It Right,
right?
yeah.
You know, to just like lean towards that part of her. I don't think she's really like when she was making those songs, she's thinking about okay, this song is the song that blew in Nigeria, that was successful in Nigeria, or necessarily no. Like I mean, our piano is it's the song that has like is the vehicle, is the sonic vehicle that have taken Nigerian music from here to there, and a lot of Nigerians have rode that wave. You know, in terms of our piano for the last 3 to 4 years, right? So and that's what she does Ashake and she kind of like make music that thrives on a bit of Nigerian relatability, but it's still not pandering. You know, she still maintain who she is. She still maintain an essence. So would this song like be relatable with the average Nigerian listener? I don't think so. I don't think so. But if
Doesn't
you've
make
come
it
to
bad
know
album.
Terms, you should know what to expect. Yeah, that's it.
All right. So for that final question, what do you think this album, now that it's out, people are consuming it, what do you think the album has to say about Tim's position in the grand scheme of things, so to say?
I think it's just I think number one question I think this album answers is her positioning. Like where does she fit into? Is she going to be one of the artists, you know, that are exporting Afrobeats to the world, or one of the artists, you know, trying to ride or trying to be part of that Afrobeat to the world vehicle in terms of what we've seen from other Nigerian artists who scale over there, or she's going to be a Nigerian international artist making music for that fits the sensibilities of a foreign audience while still kind of embracing a Nigerian, you know, sensibilities once in a while. Like say it did, for example, because on his last album he did like he did an Afrobeat song with Bodge, but it's for all intent and purposes, it's not Nigerian, it's UK. So stuff like that. I think this album kind of answers that question. Shows us that okay, she's an R&B. I mean, it's always been clear, but it just makes it for those who don't get it yet. This makes it very clear. Like it stamps it that I'm an R&B artist and this type of music I make. But I will make other songs that captures my sensibilities. Right? When she on T Unit, she was sampling 50. Let me not say maybe sampling 50, but no, yeah, she sampled 50
You
when she
give
used
the-
Candy Shop.
Yeah.
Yeah, she tabulated Candy Shop. Yep. So yeah, she tabulated Candy Shop, and she was using the 50 cent kind of beat, and even changed the G for T. So T is talk about, and she was like very confident with it. And the times on the album that I really liked that she was confident, and she's talking about how she's a star now, and how you wanna go collect basically for long
No
story
one is
short,
doing it
everybody
like
go collect.
me.
Yeah, no one is doing like me. I'm a star now. I came in, they were surprised, they didn't expect me. I came in and shocked this game and everything. I mean, it's facts. It's facts. She came in and she changed the game. She shocked everybody. Yeah, so I think that kind of like also shows her place in the scheme of things. It embraces who she is right now. It embraces, like she embraces her superstar status. She embraces her profile as one of the biggest artists in the world right now, and someone who is set to compete shoulder to shoulder with the biggest names, right? So I think that's something else this album achieves. And in terms of what it would do for her, I think the album would do commercially well. Yeah, I think Tems is one of those artists that I don't know. Steps is too big for an album not to work. Yeah, that's just what I see. I get that there are big artists that their albums don't
Fail.
work. Yeah, that kind of like fail. We've seen a couple this year, so
Name
that
me.
drop. No, don't worry. Not Nigerian. I'm not saying not
Okay.
Nigerian.
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
of definitely Nigerian, we see a lot.
Yeah, I
We
get what
see
you
a
mean
lot.
now.
But internationally, we see a lot of artists that I get what you mean. I just when I look at you, I just I know there's something you're thinking about. But anyway, so I mean, you've seen big artists that album don't work.
Yeah.
Even recently, like couple of years, we've seen big Nigerian artists with global appeal that the album didn't work. But Tems is one big artist that our album cannot fail. Like if you see the singles, Me and You is not what you describe as a hit song. Like objectively speaking, not a hit song in Nigeria, and I don't think it's a hit song internationally either. Like in terms of the way Aya and Free Mind
It
went and performed, right?
bonkers, yeah.
Have you seen the streams on that song on Spotify? Over 90. She got 2 BT nominations for that tracks. Best gospel contemporary, best video director. She's big. She is huge. Love Me Jeje.
Love Me Jeje is doing crazy numbers.
Yes. So like Tems's positioning is like she cannot feel like I mean God they are back and like these machineries she's
It's
well
skill.
positioning, like she's well positioned to be successful, and a bulk of the support that will come from this album is going to come from UK, US. I mean a lot of Nigerians will also support because I mean she's Nigerian, we love her, and we're going to, I mean, she said she feel appreciated by Nigerians. She doesn't know if her music feel appreciated by Nigerians.
She personally.
But she as a person feel appreciated by Nigerians. And I think this is going to show as well because I think Nigerians who support her, in terms of like bigger up and the way we are loud about our people, and she's amazing, she's doing great things, so she's going to get a lot of support, and she's going to, I mean, internationally it's about to go crazy. I think she's going to really, really go big there, kill it there. Possibly, if she gets one of the singles off the album, take off properly.
Yeah, on
then
the radio.
Yeah, like on radio, on the charts in the UK, US.
What song do
Yeah.
you think should be a single?
A single, yeah. I mean that's that. I think they're pushing Burning as a single. I think they're pushing Burning as a single. I think in the UK scene, I think that's where she has options because of those dancehall rhythm there.
Yeah.
And so you have Wickedness, you have Turn Me Up, you have Gangster. Those songs can really work. And I said this looking at what Tyler did on Jump with Skilly Bang and Gunna, that kind of like has that dancehall bounce to the Amapiano log drum, and that song is the biggest song off our album. I
Right
mean,
now.
Aside Water right now, right? So I think those songs will work in the UK. I think for Tems is going to have a UK single, a US single, a Nigerian single. Right? So I think for the UK single, I'm not sure, but I'm thinking it's between Wickedness, Turn Me Up, and Gangster. For the US single, I think it's still going to be Me and You. I think Me and You is still going to be pushed there a bit. And I think that song, if all goes well, that song might even get a Grammy nomination. Say for contemporary gospel category, I think she can get a nomination. The album, can it get a Grammy nomination? I'm not sure. I don't be too cocky.
It's too early, yeah.
It's too early, and genres there are very restrictive. They're still very American. It's hard to break into, and she kind of like touched a bit of African.
Yeah, so they may just throw her into the world.
She might just need to still settle for the global category.
Yeah.
For that category, I think it's almost a given that she would be there. It's almost a given that should be there. So in terms of success, I think this is going to be a very successful album. Especially judging by the singles, like the singles have been very successful, and she's also like she's been on an ascension. So this album is going to do great things, and I think she's been moving up since she came to the industry, and this album is just going to take her to the next level. And it's just amazing to see how it goes and to see what she would do and how she will do it and what she will accomplish. And it's just like it's just going to be amazing because she's doing it for herself. She's also doing it for the future generations because she's breaking barriers. Grammy nominations, a Grammy win, a Oscar nomination. These things are all precedented in Nigerian music, and she's doing all these things and she's making history. And years down the line, more female artists coming up will look up to her, and a lot of people will make music because Tems made music. Yeah, and that's factually.